Okay, I'm going to be the first one to say it. I've got a crazy idea, and maybe it's not Daniel Jones's fault in New York. Let's find out.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
Let's just jump right into it. I've got a crazy idea, got a crazy theory. I want to know your thoughts. Let's get it turned over. Boom. This is courtesy of drafthistory.com. Shout out Draft History. Now, I'm not going to be looking at the camera as much because I'm going to be looking down at these quarterbacks. So my thought process is this. Before we even get too crazy, it's not Daniel Jones's fault. It's the front office's fault for overdrafting what seemed to be a subpar quarterback in college. I don't know how they thought they would make a sudden jump to the NFL. Now, there's going to be some examples that I'm going to kind of go with, and I'm going to try and highlight them here. First one is I'm going to skip over 2023. It's too early to know anything. Moving to 2022. The first one, even though I am a die-hard lover of this man, I think he's great. I even gave him, I personally, found the idea of the nickname, Kenny the Ticket Pickett, because I think he's going to punch a lot of tickets to the playoffs and probably win one. It's just not now. And that first one is going to be 2022, Mr. Kenny Pickett, the 20th overall by the Steelers. Now, I understand why. Hit kid, played in the stadium. He's going to develop well. But personally, I think he could have fallen. I think that they got him at the right time. I think that it was just a perfect storm. But I think he is a true second-round quarterback. I think the first round is going to kind of haunt him for a while. And then obviously we go to the opposite, which is Mr. Brock Purdy. And yes, I do use edge for this, just so you know. Brock Purdy from the Niners. Obviously drafted where everybody thought he should be drafted, the last pick, Mr. Irrelevant, turning into quite a bit. But the reason why I bring up this Daniel Jones debate, per se, is to bring up one point. And that is my thought is that it is the fit that matters more and not the number. The reason why I say that is there were people that were coming out of college that were saying Max Duggan, it was a top 10 quarterback and going to make an immediate impact, and he was the last quarterback taken in this past draft, if you look up a little bit. Desmond Ridder. You know how much the Falcons believe in him? They let him throw 18 times in the first game. That's how much they believe in him. Bailey Zappi, already pretty much out of the league at this point. I mean, Matt Corral, people are somehow fiending for this guy. My former Florida Panther, don't understand why. Skylar Thompson, not him. Sam Howell. I know, don't get me wrong, I don't believe in Sam Howell either, but he's at least getting some time. He's at least being able to get out there and throw the ball. So far out of that draft class, other than the fact that Brock Purdy is pretty much is undefeated when he finishes the game, I would say he's the best one so far. But you see where like Atlanta went out and tried to go get one with Ridder and then tried to make him a starter when they could have been trading picks. And personally, I thought the Falcons should have just gotten Kyler Murray or just paid Lamar, but that's just me. Moving on to the next draft, Trevor Lawrence was obviously number one, but then we get to Zach Wilson, which is where I think is the first major thread of my argument, okay? So we see these organizations, the Jets, for example, or you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to feed into this a little bit, even though I don't believe it. The 2023 draft, my Carolina Panthers drafted Bryce Young. That is what is known to be a poor organization being given the keys to a future happiness. Oh, it's going to be so great. We're going to have this guy. He's going to change everything. But maybe we overdrafted him, meaning that he should have gone to a place like the Texans. I think that if he was on the Texans right now with Nico Collins and Tank Dell, they're undefeated. So I don't think that he's not going to meet expectations. I think the organization is going to personally let him down. And that's kind of what I feel like with Zach Wilson. One, I think Zach Wilson and Trey Lance were both overdrafted. I think that Mac Jones going to the Patriots is an interesting one. I've long said, or I shouldn't say long said, I've said over the last 2 weeks that I think that the Patriots should explore the trade of trading Mac Jones to Chicago or Mac Jones wherever the hell for picks. And then going and getting Justin Fields for basically nothing, because I think that the Bears are going to have either the number one or number 1 and 3, 1 and 4, because they're the Panthers and their own pick. So they're going to lose and end up with 2 top 5 picks. Those 2 top 5 picks are obviously going to translate into quite a bit. possibly Caleb Williams. Now, obviously, if they're 2-3, and number one doesn't want to trade, meaning it's a Rams, it's a Cardinals team that doesn't want to give it up and wants to give it up for a ridiculous haul, even though 2-3 would get them Marvin Harrison Jr. and somebody else. But yeah, I think that it's just a poor organization. Not saying that the 49ers were a poor organization. Trey Lance was just a bad fit, not healthy enough, everything like that. So yeah, I think there's just so many of these examples of them just going to the wrong organization. Hurts went to the right organization. Everybody thought, even me coming out of college, and I was like, he got benched in the national title game. How can he recover? And he's recovered perfectly. Yeah, Daniel Jones is another one that sticks out. Drew Lock, even though he's driving into the fourth, I still feel like that was too much. I feel like Will Grier is better than Drew Lock ever was. The Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. Again, if you looked at Sam Darnold and saw a starting quarterback in the NFL, I don't know what you were looking at. Same thing with Josh Rosen. Even that's kind of crazy to say, considering he was the fourth pick. Where is it? Josh Rosen. I'm sorry, 10th pick, fourth quarterback taken. I mean, the fact that you would take Rosen on the Cardinals and not Lamar Jackson, who would have been just crazy. Anyways, Trubisky being overdrafted, Deshaun Kaiser, Paxton Lynch. I mean, there's so many of these, and you see the ones that they're going to. So when we go to Paxton Lynch, it's going to a Broncos team that was just, trying to figure out what to do. And I'm pretty sure, was it 16 was the year that Peyton went there and won, or whatever it was? It was right around that time. So you're seeing that these organizations were trying to look for the next, and I'm just not seeing it. Obviously, Dak went in that. But more of my point is just this. I think that it is not Daniel Jones' fault that he's not able to succeed. I think it is that he went to the wrong organization. If Daniel Jones had unfortunately had gone to a Cardinals team, he's already gone. He gets Josh Rosen, he's out of there. A Zach Wilson kind of scenario. There's just a bunch of these, and I want to know your thoughts. Do you think that the pick matters? Obviously, the pick matters to the player. It's how you make money and all that other stuff. But do you think that players really care or really think about coming out of college about the fit? The one that I'm going to go to really quickly is from the Roku channel documentary, Christian Gonzalez, that ended up falling in the draft. Great corner, thought he was great out of college, thought he fell way too far. You know where he went? To the guy who is going to make him into a multiple-time All-Pro, Pro Bowler, everything. Dude is going to light the league up. He's going to be a top 5 corner probably by the end of the year. You can mark that. That's Christian Gonzalez with the New England Patriots. So fit matters more than anything. Good luck to Daniel Jones tonight. I've already picked the Seahawks over them, but hey, maybe they'll trade you at some point. You'll get to a better organization. But right now, the Giants are not it, and neither are the Jets. They're expecting veteran talent to come in there and solve all their problems, and that's not how you win football games long term with a young organization. So sorry, I don't believe them. Fit over pick. That's all I'm going to say. This is Nick with Royal Coverage. Have a great rest of your night and enjoy the game tonight.